Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you've got Darren Little here with the MLM Superheroes, and we are live right now on an international broadcast, broadcasting to all four corners of the world. Guys, what I'm going to do here today is, this is going to be a little bit of a millionaire mentoring session. I'm going to be talking a little bit about the science behind getting rich, how to get whatever you want in your reality. And a lot of the stuff that I teach, guys, it comes from years and years in the personal development industry. I've been in this industry for over 25 years, and I started with Tony Robbins in my 20s. In my 30s, I worked with a gentleman by the name of Dr. Lee Poulos. He was the president for the Canadian Society for Clinical Hypnosis, and at that time when I was working with him, he was actually curing stage 4 cancer patients, okay, all with the power of the mind. So I can tell you that I have witnessed some literally amazing things beyond what you can even comprehend. My own business partner, Rob Riker, was crippled in a wheelchair, crippled. He was in a head-on collision, and he had rheumatoid arthritis and ankylosing spondylitis, and utilizing Dr. Poulos's tapes, through just listening to these tapes every day, within 6 months, he walked out of the wheelchair. Now, I can tell you this, the doctors said that it wasn't even possible. They said, Rob, get used to your new life, because that's it right there in that wheelchair. And he said, you know what? I'm not buying into your BS. Now, I want you to understand what is BS, okay? BS is called basic stories. Basic stories. Now, if somebody else's basic stories, if you buy into them, they become your belief systems. So their BS starts to become your BS. And if it becomes your BS and it becomes your belief system, guys, you're done, okay? You're done. Now, Rob didn't believe that. He didn't believe that it was not possible for him to walk out of the wheelchair. He didn't believe the story that the doctors were telling him, that it wasn't possible for him to reverse the process of rheumatoid arthritis and ankylosing spondylitis in his body. So, utilizing those tapes from Dr. Poulos, guys, he walked out of the wheelchair. And on the x-rays, when they showed his joints, like in his hands and his you know, all the rheumatoid arthritis affects all of your joints. It starts to actually twist your fingers and everything to become almost like deformed. And if you look at the x-rays of his joints before and 6 months later, he actually repaired his joints with the power of the mind. So I can tell you for 100% fact, what I'm telling you is from my own personal experience. And when I was working with Dr. Poulos at 30 years old, he said to me something very amazing. He said, Darren, if you want to know where you are right here today, look at your thoughts 5 years ago. Now, guys, something really amazing happened at this time, because guess what I wrote out at 25? I am vice president of an international company doing international business. And poof, there I was, 30 years old, vice president of his company. He said, Darren, if you want to know where you're going to be 5 years from today, just look at your thoughts today. Now, guys, the more research that I started to do into the power of the mind and how it works, I thought to myself, you know what? I want to go to the next level. I'm ready to go to the next level in my reality. So I started proclaiming it. I'm ready for the next level. I'm ready for the next level in my life. Give me everything that I need, the missing component. What do I need? What do I need to understand? Bam, all of a sudden I meet a Dr. Dov Baron in quantum physics, the science behind getting rich, the secret beyond the secret, the law of attraction. Guys, once you understand how the law of attraction is actually working in somebody's life, how it's actually working, now keep in mind, it's always working. Just so you know, the law of attraction is always working. Our bodies are like radio broadcast frequencies, guys. No different than a antenna, no different than a radio station that's sending out a broadcast. And if you don't believe me, put your hand on an antenna and see what happens to the frequency of the radio station. It comes in clearer, guys, because you're an antenna that's broadcasting out into the universe. Now, a lot of people used to do this with their televisions. I mean, I don't know if you ever remember back in the day. I'm probably dating myself about how old I am right now, but back in the day, we used to put a wire on those old TVs, like a coat hanger, and we would make an antenna. And if one of us went over to the coat wire and held on to the end, guess what happened? The broadcast came in better through the television network. So guys, that's actual documented proof to show you, to illustrate to you that we as human beings are broadcasting devices. We are antennas broadcasting out a message. Now, the more that you get into understanding quantum physics, how it works and why it works, the more that you will be very, very conscious about what's going on in here. What's going on in here and what's coming out of here in verbal and in writing. Okay, the two areas. Verbally, what's coming out? What are you speaking into the reality, and what are you writing about the reality? Okay. Now, the secret, or the law of attraction, this is the formula. This is the equation for manifestation. And when I was ready to go to that next level, lo and behold, who shows up in my life but Dr. Dov Baron with the law of attraction, the secret beyond the secret, the equation for manifestation. Guys, once I learned how this really, really works, I decided at 30 years old that I was going to be a millionaire at 35. I didn't know how it was going to happen. I wasn't even on a path at that time where I could even become a millionaire. But guess what happened? Literally to the day that I turned 35 years old, I made my first $1 million. Is that a coincidence? It's not, because that's how it works. So here is the equation for manifestation. Here's how the process works. It starts with your thoughts. So you've got thought, directed emotion that generates feeling. That's the secret. Now keep in mind, it's always at work. It's always at work for everything that you either want or everything that you don't want. Now here's the process, and I want you to understand this. And once you get the basics, I'm going to open up the panel here because I want to be able to connect with everybody here on the panel. And what I want to be able to do is provide you with the most amount of value so that after you're done here, you're going to actually have a formula, a mathematical formula, so that you can figure out however much money that you want to be able to make. Okay, I want you to start to dream big. When I say, give me an idea how much money you want to make, and somebody says, well, you know, I'd be good with a couple, $2,000, $3,000 a month. Okay, we got to up your level of deservability. Okay, when I am talking to somebody and I say, you know, give me an idea of the type of income that you want to generate, and when somebody says, you know what, Darren, I want to get to 25,000 as a springboard, and then my goal really is that I want to at least be making $100,000 a month. I can give you a blueprint for that, guys. I can show you actually what you need to do in order to be able to do that, so that you can really understand how to roll out a company launch, right? Which is some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about on today's broadcast. So, guys, I want you to you know, this is all science. This is from a scientific standpoint. If you take everything, you know, this, it's all made up of atoms and molecules, okay? And when you take those atoms and molecules and you take them smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller down to a microscopic level, now you've got something that's called the electrons. They're smaller than the atoms in the molecules. Well, the scientists wanted to figure out, well, what the heck are the electrons made up of? One group of scientists, guys, they believed, listen to my words that I'm saying, they believed that those electrons were made up of waves of energy. And as those waves of energy came together, they made the electrons, right, that all of a sudden came together, and they made the atoms and the molecules, and those came together, and then they started to make things like this and like this. Okay? So they conduct laboratory research. Laboratory research, guys. I'm talking about with documented proof that everything that they were doing had results. It was all results driven. So here's what happened at the end of their testing. They found out 100% conclusive that those electrons were definitely made up of waves of energy. So they're like, the universe is made up of waves. Guys, it wasn't 60-40, it wasn't 50-50, it wasn't 70-30, it wasn't 90-10. There was no skewing in the results, okay? It was 100% conclusive evidence that those electrons are made up of waves of energy. But guess what happened? On another area of the world, there was another group of scientists that believed that those electrons are made up of particles of matter that came together to form the atoms and molecules, that came together to form this and all the rest of the stuff around us. Guess what happened in the laboratory? It came back 100% conclusive evidence. Guys, the electrons are made up of particles of matter. How the heck is that possible? This laboratory over here says that they're waves of energy. This laboratory over here says that they're particles of matter. So as they do more research, what they find is that the electrons are in a state of suspension. They haven't decided yet. They haven't decided if they're going to be a wave. They haven't decided if they're going to be a particle. What do you think determines what they're going to be? Thought, directed emotion that generates feeling. So one group of scientists believed in their thoughts. They believed in their words. They believed in their emotions, that those electrons were made up of waves. And it came back waves. These ones over here believed in their thoughts, believed in their words, believed in their emotions, that those electrons were made up of particles of matter. Guess what they got? 100% on both sides, guys. Do you have any idea what that means on your path to success? Okay? Now here's what I did, guys. Okay? I'm getting goosebumps as I'm talking about this. Look at this. As I'm talking about this, I'm letting my hair standing up on my arm. I conducted a marketing case study because I wanted to prove this. I wanted to prove this in business. I mean, I proved it in, you know, when I was 30 and I became a millionaire at 35. I proved that out. You know, I proved that you could take nothing, a concept or an idea, package it up, and raise money and make millions. Right? I proved that. So I proved that just through a concept or an idea from nothing, you could become a millionaire. I proved that. And I thought, you know what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to prove that you could start a business with $174. And in 30 days, utilizing these principles, guys, now keep in mind, every day I was doing this thing that I'm going to teach you today. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to log into my back office, I'm going to show you so that you can see for yourself that everything that I'm telling you is fully documented, fully documented. So what I did is this. I said, you know what? I'm going to show people how to take $174, turn it into a six-figure income, annualized six-figure income. That means that I would have to clear $8,300 in 30 days, and I'm going to create a $10,000 monthly residual income, okay, from 30 days of all-out massive action. But the majority of the stuff that I was doing was 3 coaching calls a day, where I was talking about this right here. I was talking about the wave particle theory. I was talking about the double slit experiment. And I was explaining to people how it works, and I was explaining to people the difference between an affirmation, which is positive, and a proclamation that's emotional. There's a big difference, okay? So I can say, as an example, I'm driving an Aston Martin. And I can also say, I'm driving an Aston Martin. There's a big difference. There's an emotional connection to it. Now keep in mind, this is only part of it. You have to combine that with action steps simultaneously. But I'll tell you what the difference is. If you believe that everybody's going to say no to you, guess what happens? The door's shut in your face. If you believe that everybody that you talk to wants to join your business, every conversation that you get in, people want to join your business. If you believe that your phone's ringing off the hook with incoming phone calls, that your phone's ringing from all 4 corners of the world with people that want to join you, you create a success vortex, okay? So here's what happened. I started off in June, and I had a goal or a vision that came up that I figured, you know what, I'll bet if I was just to say hello and connect with 25 people a day, just say hello and connect with 25 people a day, I'll bet that that would be enough for me to break inertia. Now, what is inertia? Inertia is forward momentum. It takes all of the steam to build up the energy for that locomotive to go, whoa, boom, but once it's used the fuel to break through that inertia, it's going, guys. Now try and stop that freight train. I'm telling you what, if you don't have brakes on that freight train, you're in big trouble. You're in real big trouble. So what I'm telling you is that whether or not I'm launching a brand new company, or I'm out raising money for something, or I want to kickstart a company, it's the first part of breaking inertia that it's going to get you into liftoff. So when I talk to somebody and I say, tell me a little bit more about your business. Well, I talked to this one guy. I think he might be interested. But I don't have any contacts. Okay, you're broke. Okay, bottom line. You're never going to get liftoff. Okay, so so here's a connection. Hey Tom, how's it going? How's your day going so far? 1. Hey Bob, how's it going? How's your day going so far? 2. Hey Susan, how's it going? How's your day going so far? 3. My goal is 25. Okay. So if I'm on Facebook, that's how I do that. If I'm on the phone, I get voicemail. Hey Tom, it's Darren Little calling. Just wanted to reach out, touch base, say a quick hello. Bro, we haven't talked forever, man. Give me a call. Got some great news. How long did that take? So I want to get as many of those messages out, right, to people, just to people, because I'm either going to go to them or through them. Now, how do I know whether or not I'm going to go to them or through them? It all depends on them. Everything depends on them, because I'm not selling anything. I need to find out what's going on in the person's life first, right? I need to find out if they're in their peak state, if they're totally living their dream, if they're making more money, they just closed massive deals, they're traveling around the world. Okay, guess what? I'm going through them. I'm going to ask that person, who do they know, right? If I build rapport with them, they tell me what's happening in their life, I get a little connection. I complete what's called business etiquette. That means I ask them what's happening in their world. They talk, I listen. They say, what about you? I talk about my personal life, no business, right? And I get a connection. Okay, after I've got a connection, I just want to bridge over into be able to talk about business stuff. The line that I typically use is, you know, how are you finding the economy right now overall? It's very casual. There's no high pressure. I'm not pitching. I'm not like, oh, I found this thing. Oh, you got to try it. You got to try it. Right? That's what salespeople do, and those people are all the broke people, just so you know. This is a people connecting business model. It's a problem-solving business model. It's a mentoring and coaching business model. It's not features and benefits. It's not talking about your antioxidants and all the body parts and all the rest of the stuff that worked for you if you're a health and wellness company, because you don't even know if it's the right fit for a person. So stop the hype and start asking questions. The person that asks the questions controls the conversation. Real simple. Okay? So if I'm out and about, if I'm working with a company and I want to go close some major joint venture deal, do you think that I just call the guy up and start pitching him on my company? I don't. That's rude. It's just outright rude, right? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to probably go online. I'm going to do a little bit of research about the guy and his company and maybe a few deals that they've closed recently. I'm going to get a little bit of rapport stuff that I can talk about. Make sense? No different than logging onto Facebook and going onto the picture section or the about section and doing a little bit of, you know, research to find out about a person. All you got to do is click on their photos, so you can pretty much tell what company that they're with. Click on their photos, you can see if they've got kids or a wife or a husband. So, you know, run this professionally like a business, and it will pay you like a business. If you run it like a hobby, that you got one little toe in the water, then you're going to get dinner money. The difference between six-figure, multiple six-figure, and seven-figure income earners, they're running companies. The rest of the people are just kind of dabbling, right? They don't really talk to people. They don't run a marketing campaign. They're not launching a company. So here was my strategy. Minimum, baseline, 25 connections in a day. Minimum, guys. That's my baseline. Now, believe me, when I was on a real roll, and I was just, you keep in mind, plus three coaching calls, talking about the wave particle theory and double slit experiment, and how we create our own realities through our thought, directed emotion that generates feeling. And what am I doing? I'm reading my self-talk proclamation statement, okay? Now, guys, I'm going to go through this, and I'm going to do this right here live so that you guys can actually see this, and you'll see what I'm talking about when I talk about emotions here, because you'll see this thing come to life. Okay, now I do this 3 times per day, okay? Now, when I'm doing this, I will also add that my phone starts ringing off the hook with incoming phone calls. And, Dodie, can you see my screen right now? Dodie?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes,
okay, guys,
I can see it.
And after I do this, I'm going to open up the panel here because I want to get a chance to meet these people, to find out what some of your challenges are right now. And you know, I don't want to just talk about business, guys, because you realize that a big portion of what's going on in your reality is called a reflector, to get you to look at what's going on internally in your reality. Right? Because we all face the human condition, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that as well. So here we are right now, and I'm going to go into my self-talk proclamation statement. Okay. Now, the company that I was rolling out was called Explosial, okay? And that was the company that I was working with that I wanted to create the 6-figure annualized income within 30 days, okay? So what I do is, first of all, I just get grounded. I take a deep breath. Leaders come to me easily and effortlessly. Every time I wake up, my Facebook inbox is filled with people that want to join my business. I'm amazed at how effortless it is to make money. Avalanches of abundance are flowing into my life. My phone is ringing with leaders from all four corners of the world that want to join me on this exciting venture. I'm making more money in Explosial in a shorter period of time than I've ever made in any company my entire life. I'm infinite. I'm abundant. I'm immortal. I'm universal. Soon, my dreams will be part of my past. Now, here's what I'll tell you. If your dreams are part of your past, guess what? You already passed them. You're looking back at your dreams. That's what I'm talking about. Now, this right here basically connects my physiology in my body to my dream. And that's what happens, what's called a quantum boom. So let's just go back out here to the panel, because I want to get an idea here of, I'm going to show you something here really quickly. Okay, so guys, can you unmute one at a time, please? And I want to just find out a little bit about you here really quickly. Amy, can you unmute?
Yep, hi.
Guys, what I'm going to tell you here, you probably may not even have known about this industry, okay? Because people don't get into this stuff with training. There's two types of people that join a network marketing company, okay? They're either in a state of transition where they've either been downsized, they've lost a job, they're switching career paths, they could be in another network marketing company, they're not getting paid what they're worth, the comp plan, the qualifications are too tough, and they're looking for another company. The company could have just changed their marketing plan, and they're looking for something new, right? That's a state of transition, okay? That's the one type. The other type are people that have reached what's called a breaking point, okay? They're either working one or two jobs. They can't get paid any more money, guys, because they need to sleep. They can't get paid any more money. And a barrage of bills come in, the kids need braces, they get in a car accident, something happens, and they go, oh my God, we're hooked. Like, I got to get more income. If I don't get more income, like, we're going to go under. So they start searching, okay? They could be in a salary, and the boss keeps on asking them to do extra stuff. Can you just complete this report for tomorrow? Yeah, oh yeah, we got a thing on Monday. Can you just wrap up this presentation and get that ready for Monday? So what happens is, what they thought that they were going to be doing for that amount of money, they're doing way more for the same amount of money. And at some point in time, they reach a breaking point, and they just say, enough's enough. I'm done with this, right? And they start searching. So they're in a transition or they're in a breaking point. Now, if they're in a breaking point, chances are they're in financial pain, guys, just so you know, okay? So, Amy, would you say that you would be in a classification of breaking point or transition?
I'd say right now it's probably a bit of both.
Okay, cool. Okay, so there you go. First one, both categories. Okay, let's go over to Deborah. Would you say, Deborah, if you can unmute, can you unmute Deborah?
Can you hear me?
Yep. Deborah, would you say that you're in transition or breaking point?
I'm like with Amy, I'm kind of in both, but I'm more in the breaking point than the transition.
Okay, perfect. Dodie Johnson, can you unmute, please?
Yep.
Dodie, would you say that you're in a state of transition or are you in breaking point?
Transition.
Transition, okay. Jeanette, can you unmute?
Hi.
Jeanette, would you say that you're in transition or breaking point?
I would say both.
Okay, perfect. Jason, unmute yourself.
Hey.
Would you say that you're in a transition or in a breaking point?
Yeah, right now I guess breaking point. There's no real hope in what I'm doing.
Okay, cool. Marcus, can you unmute? Marcus, you there?
Hey, I'm here. You can hear me?
Yeah. Marcus, would you say you're in transition or breaking point?
Definitely a breaking point.
Breaking point. Okay. Stephanie, can you unmute?
There we go.
Stephanie, transition or breaking point?
Transition.
Transition. Okay. Susan, transition or breaking point?
Transition.
Transition. Trina, transition or breaking point? Okay, you're still on mute there for some reason. Okay, for some reason you're not coming through. Anyway, okay, so no problem. Guys, here is what's really important for you to understand about this industry. Do you realize every single person across the bottom in this panel are in one or the other or both? They're in one or the other or both. Now, here's what I will tell you about recruiting. Your goal as a recruiter is to picture, here's a clam, okay, and it's shut tight, okay? Now, that clam's not going to open, right, unless you pry it open a little bit, unless you put a knife in there and pry it open a little bit. How do you do that with a human being? How do you pry them open a little bit, okay? The way that you do that is to connect through your heart, through your heart. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. How do they know how much you care? You listen. You listen. You ask good questions and you listen to people. That's how you connect with a person, okay? So if I ask a person what's happening in their life and I listen, do you know most people don't do that? So that person's going to feel better after they get a chance to talk where somebody listens. They feel heard, okay? So whatever's going on in their life, guys, they might have gotten a parking ticket, speeding ticket, they could have an argument with their husband or wife, they might be pissed off with their boss. They just need to say to somebody. They want somebody just to listen, right? It doesn't have to go on for 45 minutes. It might only be 5 minutes, right? They're just going to give you a brief outline of what's happening in their reality. But the important thing to do is to connect. This is a business of connecting with people. So if you want to become a top recruiter, you need to be what I call a naked soul, completely vulnerable. So when people say, you know, Darren, what about you? What's happening in your life? I say, you know, my son just came in town from Las Vegas. You know, he was here for spring break. And I haven't seen him for 7 months. And it was just an amazing time to spend that week with him, but I'm really going to miss him. That's really true, guys. I got no sugarcoating mask on that. That's really true for my heart. Now, I might talk about, you know, connecting with my parents in Maui, or going to Cancun to this all-inclusive resort, or hanging out with a bunch of millionaires in Miami shooting videos, or going to Seattle for a conference, or going to North Carolina or to Miami for another conference, and then going on a Caribbean cruise. So that's all my real life, right? So, but in my portion, my goal as a top recruiter is I want to take you on a journey. Now, one of the things I'll tell you about any person who's a top recruiter or a top income earner, guys, they're really good storytellers, just so you know. They can describe a story to you, and you're like, what happened next? Right? So there I was on the beach. You take them there, and you're talking, and you're chatting, right? So you learn how to be a good connector, a good storyteller to express more about your life. Okay, so what I want to do here, guys, now is I want to, let's take, Marcus, whereabouts are you from? You want to unmute yourself?
Hello?
Marcus, how are you, sir?
Not too bad. How you doing?
Good. So, Marcus, first of all, how did you find out about this particular session?
Actually, a friend of mine, she referred me. She's on the panel right now, Aimee.
Oh, okay, great. Excellent.
Yeah. So, yeah, I decided to log in and see what it was all about.
Fantastic. Okay, so, Marcus, what do you do right now for your living, for your work?
I'm in marketing and promotion.
Marketing and promotions, okay. And is it an independent company, or do you work for a company? Like, is it your own thing?
Independent company.
So you're like an independent contractor?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So would you say that, you know, like with what you do right now, is it paying you the type of income that you're looking to generate, or are you looking to generate more income?
Well, definitely looking to generate more.
Okay. So first of all, as a stepping stone, there's two things that I want from you, because I'm going to give you a formula right now. I want everybody to grab pen and paper, because I'm going to give you a formula right now that you can leave here and go, okay, cool, I want to make 50,000, I want to make 100,000. So how much income do you need to make per month to be able to pay your mortgage, your car payment, your insurance, your gas, your groceries, clothes, just your basic necessities?
Wow. How much do I want to make, or how
No,
much
we're going to
is
start
necessary?
first of all, what you need,
What
and
I
then what
need.
you want. So give me what you need first to get your, so that you can wake up in the morning and go, oh, all my bills are paid. Cool.
I'd say a good 10 grand.
10,000. Okay. So guys, here is the formula. So I'm going to give you the formula so you have this, write this down, so when you leave here you will have a mathematical formula that you can plug into a calculator. So Marcus wants $10,000, okay, 10 grand, okay, per month. We're going to divide that now by 129. Okay, now we get a number. Marcus's number right now is 77.51. Okay, now you can't have 0.51 of a person, so we're going to round that up to 78, okay, and we're going to add 3, okay, because 3 people off every person are what are called pass-ups with this company that I rolled out, where I took $174, turned 125 grand. So Marcus, your magic number, my friend, is a whopping 81. Okay, now I want to show you how you can get connected here with $10,000 here emotionally. Okay, so I'm going to take 81 now, and I'm going to divide that by 3, because remember that every person's going to give you 3. So what number do we have now, Marcus? We're down to 27, bro. 27. That's like 3 rows of chairs in a room, and you've already got your 10,000 very close. Now we're going to divide it by 3 one more time. Guess what? 9. Now here's what I want you to understand. Marcus, do you realize that if you put a little tiny boardroom of people together and they watched our company video and they realized that their ticket to freedom of $10,000 a month they could get with only 81 people, oh my God. And they could get that number down to 9? Are you for real? So if they have 9 people and they help those 9 people bring in 6, they just sent 27 pass-ups. They help that group bring in 6, they're making $10,000 a month. That fast. So I was able to get to the $10,000 monthly recurring revenue, guys, in 30 days. 40 days it already made over 12,300, and now we're in month 11, it's at 125 grand. So I'm speaking from real life experience of how did I do that? I didn't run any ads. I didn't do classified ads or Facebook pay-per-click or Google AdWords or banners or anything like that. I only talked to people that hit the like button on my Facebook posts for this marketing case study, because I wanted to prove a point, guys. I wanted to prove that if I am connected emotionally to my dream, thought-directed emotion that generates feeling, if I'm speaking my reality into existence of exactly what I want, it says right in my proclamation statement, if you didn't notice, I'm making more money in Explosial in a shorter period of time than I've ever made in any company my entire life. I said it right in my proclamation statement. Now, simultaneously to that, guess what I'm doing? I'm connecting, having casual conversations with 25 people in a day. That's my baseline. Now, keep in mind, some days I did 75 because I was on a roll, right? And sometimes people didn't, answer right away. So I could have done those 25. Hey, Tom, I was going to dig on so far. Hey, Mary, I was going to dig so far. I mean, I might have gone through 25 of those, and it only took me 40 minutes because nobody answered right away, right? And some of those people, keep in mind, would go blam, bam, onto day 2. And some of those people would go blam, bam, onto day 3, right? So it's a compounding effect that starts to happen if you go in with an intention that you're going to get liftoff in your business, right? If you're going to get liftoff in your business. So when I roll out a company, guys, all I do is I take out a stack of, my Rolodex, is take out a stack of cards, right? And I just reach out, touch base, and say hello to find out what's happening in their life. I'm not selling anything. Because how do I know if they're in a peak or if they're in a valley, right? How do I know? I don't know unless I connect, and they're not going to tell me the truth unless I really, get that connection. And how do I get the connection? Change their state. So if somebody's like, right, like this, and then all of a sudden that's a change of state. So here they are here. Hey, Darren, that's a change of state. If I can change a person's state, I'm in the vault. I call it accessing the vault. Okay, now I say, well, hey, just out of curiosity, Tom, how are you finding the economy right now overall? Actually, Darren, it's not going very good. Really? Tell me more about that. 5 words will make you rich. 5 words. Tell me more about that. Right? How's you finding the economy right now? Oh, man, it's going phenomenal. Really? Tell me more about that. 5 words. Okay? That goes, now they're open. They're telling me really what's going on. And you'd be surprised how many people will sugarcoat the reality and tell you a bunch of BS until you get to the connection part, connect with them, change their state. Now you ask them. And you can tell by their voice. So how are you finding the economy right now, bro? Well, it's going terrible. As soon as you hear it in their voice, it's going terrible. Okay. So now, Marcus, give me the number you said that so you need 10 grand minimum. What's the number that you're really after?
Well, I want financial freedom, so I guess monthly would be, like you were saying, about 50,000. I'll be a happy guy.
Okay, so 50,000 divided by 129 equals 387.59. So 388 plus 3 is 391. 391 people. Okay, now keep in mind, guys, we're only talking about a $174 product here, right? We're not talking about 5 grand or anything like that. So what I call this type of a business, it's called mass market and mass appeal. Because once you start to get in 250 or 500 or higher, now it becomes a husband and wife decision, guys. But, 174 is kind of still under the radar. Guys go out with their buddies for drink and a bunch of beers and blah, 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 and, they got carried away, and all of a sudden they've dropped a couple $100. So, the 174 is still kind of what I call under the radar, right? It's under the radar, right, where it's not a red flag. 250, now you're starting to get into a red flag zone, okay? 250 and up, red flag zone, right? But 174, that's called mass market and mass appeal. Now, if we can provide value, right, where we can hit both the consumer market, we offer families over $4,500 in savings off of name brand purchases. That's like getting a raise right there. And we help companies increase their sales by 30% or more with 28 different promotional offers, right? Where they can drive more new leads, more cash flow, more referrals. They can turn all their customers into promoters. And we show them how to roll out an actual international marketing campaign. So if you've never done marketing before, doesn't matter. We've got a full education on how to do that. And one video that I did that was 5 minutes long in press releases got shared, guys, like 200 and I think 20 times on one I did about the real estate market, and another 190 times on how we help business owners to add $25,000 to their monthly marketing budget with only 200 people. Are you for real? Like, if you know a business owner, if they see those little tiny minuscule numbers, they're like, oh man, show me how to do this. You know, $300,000 a year for a realtor or a mortgage broker or an insurance agent to be able to do marketing? Are you kidding me? That's a good budget. So your number, Marcus, for $50,000 a month is $391. Okay, now keep in mind, guys, $391 divided by 3, now we're down to $130. Now, trust me, I mean, you could probably personally get 130 people if you knew that you could make $50,000 a month, right? So the reality is that this becomes very easy when you get emotionally connected to your dream. So, any questions at all that we've got here? Any questions at all? No? Okay. You know, guys, this was a little bit of an impromptu millionaire mentoring session. I just posted it on my wall there. What I would recommend, Marcus, is to reach back out to Aimee and have get Aimee's link to watch our video. And I want you to understand while you're watching that video, okay? Aimee will send you a link to our video, but I want you to understand just that video, my friend, just that video turned $174 into $125,000. I didn't have to go out and do any more sales pages. I didn't have to go out and do any special videos. I didn't have to do another funnel to attach to another funnel. I didn't have to go out and make a bunch of customized, you know, bells and whistles and do this all hoopla out here for what's over here. I just connected with people, found out their problem, and had them watch that video, okay? So the great thing about this is I can tell you 100% firsthand that our video converts. Our video converts, guys. And if you go through my training, my Millionaire Mentoring Training Program, and once you recruit 4 people, guys, I've got a $3,000 bonus training called the Academy of Quantum Physics Mind Mastery. That's the actual science of getting rich. That's how I made almost $4 million in a single year. And I give that to my team for free as a bonus once you create 4 people. Just 4. Not 100, right? Not 1,000, 4 people, and you get access to the exact step-by-step blueprint on how to create wealth and abundance where you never have to worry about money again for the rest of your life. And that's true. Eric Green, now multiple 6-figure income earner, previously 10 years of failure. You know, who else do we have? Dodie Johnson got a $212,000 raise after 60 days of going through the training. Now she's paid $5,200 for an hour with her local chamber of commerce doing public speaking, and she's never been a public speaker before. How's that happen, guys? Figure that one out. Okay, so we've got people that are completely transforming their realities in all areas of their life, not just explosive. I'm talking about their marriages. I'm talking about their health and wellness. I'm talking about their connection with their kids, with their parents, every single area of their life that people's lives are transforming once they learn this formula. It's totally amazing. So, Dodie, any closing comments at all?
Darren, your training is phenomenal. It's totally changed my life. If anybody is on the fence here as far as what to do, I would highly recommend it. It will change every area of your life, not just financially, but in every way. But the money's the good part.
Cool, cool. Now, you know, Stephanie, maybe you can just unmute here for a quick second, because I know that, you know, you and I met at a conference, and, you know, we just had a great connection, you know, just hanging out and just exchanging and talking, and then, you know, we continued talking on Facebook and connecting more. You've had a chance to go through little bits of the training. tell me a little bit about that, because I've seen some really amazing changes on your Facebook, your interactions, your discussions of personal development. What shifted from that conference to today, having gone through some of the training that I put out there?
Well, honestly, like meeting you was just, I have never met anyone who talked to me the way that you did. You were so present, and I felt something completely change from that moment when I met you, and like going into Explosional and going through all of your training and applying everything that you taught me just from watching you on Facebook and also just watching you on YouTube before I decided to work with you. It changed everything from how I felt to what I was putting out online, and it changed the interaction I was having with people, just like you said. So, like, what more can I say? It really does change you and how you do business and how you think. It's like it's not just changing how you do business. It changes your whole life.
Wow. I mean, I'll tell you what blows me away, Stephanie, is that, I mean, you've only got like about, I don't know, like 500 friends or something, but I've seen some of your posts, and they've got like 100 comments and like, you know, like 100 likes, and I'm like, what the heck? I mean, this girl's really, she got this, like, holy moly. You know, what is the most amount of interaction that you've gotten just off of one single post?
I think it's like 176 likes in like a day. But the thing that I actually do that sets me apart from people is that I connect with people. And I loved what you said, that people don't care how much you know unless they know how much you care. I care so much, and I think that people feel that. Like, my heart is there for them. And that is how I get the interaction that I get, because I am a people person. I am there to connect, and that changes everything. People feel that.
Now, isn't it interesting how, now, guys, I want to say this before we wrap up here and we get back to, you know, business and whatnot, but I want to just tell you that when I first got into this industry over 25 years ago, it cost me $4,000, guys, to start 25 years ago. I want you to think about that, what that would be in today's day and age if 25 years ago I spent $4 grand. But I'm sitting across from my millionaire mentor, and he said to me, he said, Darren, there's 2 rules in this industry that you're going to have to learn if you ever want to be a top income earner. He said, rule number 1 is I don't want you talking about our company. Now, you know what the first thing I thought about, guys, is like, are you for real? Like, are we doing something wrong here? Or is this like, is this some sort of an illegal business, right? He said, rule number 2 is I don't want you talking about our products. Now, coming from features and benefits, guys, and pitching and closing, I was like, huh? How's that going to work? So I just dropped $4,000 to become an affiliate, but you don't want me talking about the company, and you don't want me talking about the products. He said, that's right. I said, what the heck do I talk about? He said, I want you to talk about them. Guys, do you realize that meeting that I had with that mentor turned me into a millionaire? Because I applied those same strategies in real business to be able to hire management teams, to do joint venture deals, to raise millions of dollars, to start companies from nothing and make millions from them. I did all of it from that meeting. What he told me in that meeting completely, totally changed the whole course of my life. Every area of my life was changed from what that millionaire mentor taught me that day. And I said to him, well, so if I'm not talking about the products and I'm not talking about the company, then who does? The video. The video does. Be the point man, he said. Be the point man, not the front man. Guys, if you get this, leaving this webinar today, it will completely change your reality. Because the people that try to be that person on the front lines, those are all the broke people, guys, just so you know. You can't be a front man or a front woman until you have an income story. So don't try to be one, right? Just learn how to get out of your own way, guys. Learn how to get out of the way. People typically in this industry sell themselves out of a new business partner. Why? Because they can't stop doing this. Do a lot more of this if you want to be a top recruiter. Okay, guys, so you got Darren Little here with the MLM Superheroes. Get back to the person that invited you to this particular call, and if you're on a web page where there's a link, click the link below or over to the side, and I look forward to meeting you in person one day, and I look forward to seeing you at the top. Bye for now.